Exhibit A, a website with over 1,200 rankings in Google vanished overnight. Exhibit B, a website with over 800 rankings in Google vanished overnight. Exhibit C, $10,000 a month in lost traffic vanished overnight. The only question remains, is your website next?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we got a lot to cover. What we're going to talk about is previous Google rankings declining, whole entire websites and domains being de-indexed from Google entirely, a huge money loss and traffic loss problem in Google's trillion-dollar ecosystem. And not only that, but I have a massive prediction for 2024 that if you're interested in getting ranked on Google and making money or keeping rankings you already have, you're going to want to pay close attention. Because today, as always, we're going to be looking at the data. Now, if you're new here, you might not know, but I run and manage over 1,000 different websites, blogs, and domain names. And having access to the data from thousands of websites gives me a little bit of an edge on what's going on in terms of SEO and getting ranked on Google. In fact, I'm able to see screenshots like this one here, where this client lost over 881 rankings overnight. And another one here that dropped drastically in the last Google Helpful Content update. Here's another one where we saw another drastic traffic decline over a year ago. And another one that got hit by the recent Google Helpful Content update. But what does all this mean for you, and what is happening here that's causing these major declines and complete traffic flatlines? Yep, we're going to need to get the paddles out on this one, because these sites are pronounced dead on the spot. But in order to get to this data, I want to show you what we've been doing and where most of these people actually got their search engine rankings from. Because we all know if you can rank on Google for terms that are worth money, then yeah, you can make money online super fast. Case in point, these 3 domain names that I just bought today. In fact, one of them I won less than 10 minutes ago. collegesinsoutherncalifornia.com. If I was to put this domain in our keyword tool over here, we can see that there is a little bit of traffic decline. Now, this is completely normal for a domain name that is now being auctioned. Why? Quite simply, because there's nothing on the domain. Yeah, it's just a GoDaddy buy this domain page. However, we can see that at one point, it had over 1,600 keywords in Google. If I click the keywords like this, drop it down to, say, a year ago, I can see over 1,782 rankings in Google for keywords that, wait a minute, 90 competition, 93, 86? Whatever happened to everything saturated and too competitive? Well, this domain is getting tons of traffic in a highly competitive market. And not just that, but this market pays big money. In fact, if I click on CPC right like this, we can see that some of these keywords have advertisers paying over $100 a click for. And many of them are in the $70, $40, $30, even $20 range. Which means this website could make big money. But there's one major problem. This website, much like this one here, is right about to flatline. And by flatline, I mean all the traffic and money this website's making is going to be gone overnight. So then, why would I pay over $500 just for the domain name if it's about to flatline? Well, pay close attention. Here's another domain, thatmeatsmokingguy.com. Again, we can see it's starting to decline, but at its heyday, it had over 2,600 rankings in Google. And if we look at the keywords over here and drop the date down to, say, September of 2023, we can see it ranked for over 3,000 different keywords related to how to barbecue stuff. And here's one I got for just $25 for investing guides. We can see that this one ranks for all different kinds of keywords about stock market investing. That's a super hot market, and the domain only cost me $25. And you might be saying, but Marcus, I'm just a humble guy behind a computer trying to make a buck. I don't have access to thousands and thousands of dollars worth of tools like you do. Well, don't worry, because in this training, I'm going to show you some free tools that you can use to check a domain, see if it's about to flatline, see if it's worth buying or building up, check your own website for rankings and traffic, and protect yourself once and for all against the dreaded Google flatline. But first, without any further ado, let's talk about my big SEO prediction for 2024. Hey, son. What? You need to get your act together. Come on, man. Okay, so as you probably guessed, my prediction is that Google wants us to get our act together. In an age where anyone and everyone can create content with AI, and the content doesn't even have to be that good to rank on Google, what we're going to see is sites that have authority are going to rise to the top. And not just authority like before where they have lots of content, but we're going to start to see some signaling factors like maybe having an actual address or PO box, having an LLC, having a person behind who's writing the actual blog or a pen name or something like that. We're also going to see lots of other factors playing into Google's ranking algorithm, such as human interaction. We saw this with the review websites, where reviews are being more weighted based on an actual human reviewer who has touched and examined the product before even talking about it. So gone are the days of just regurgitating some kind of review based on stuff you haven't even purchased. And not only that, but we're also going to see the same old on-page factors such as content quality and depth, the proper keyword targeting, and knowing what's going to work in the age of AI versus what worked before in SEO. And not only that, but we're also going to see a big shift towards a lot of technical stuff. Is your site working? Does it load properly? Is it working on mobile? Is it user-friendly? Are people actually staying on your site and consuming the content, or are they leaving right away? This is known as a bounce rate and can also negatively affect your SEO rankings and the amount of traffic and money you make with your website. And then we also have the normal off-page factors, which are backlinks, the entire reason we buy expired and auction domain names, brand mentions and social signals. If you have a mention on Reddit or Facebook or even Quora, yep, as always, that's going to boost your ranking even higher. That, of course, ties into site age and history, user experience, and the age-old EAT algorithm for knowing if you have topical authority. Now, all of these things might seem, kind of like a lot for someone who just wants to make money online. However, I think if you focus on keywords that are easy to obtain, use tactics like backlinks and trust building, I think you're going to find that this is something literally anyone can do, especially now that we have AI that's going to make the content for us. But what about that factor that we've actually seen is taking websites with good rankings and flatlining them seemingly overnight? Well, after looking at some of the websites that we've built over the last year and taking a look at which ones have done really well and which ones kind of struggled, I found a couple of sites that were actually, beyond struggling and more in the realm of they need SEO CPR. Yep, it's time to get those paddles out and show you exactly what is making these sites drop and what you can do about it. And as you can see here, this small sample of the data shows that a lot of our sites are doing really well, but some of them, like this one here, has completely flatlined. So I decided to look even further and see exactly what's going on and why these sites are tanking. Because if we were to look here, just 2 years ago, this thing was ranking for 1,300 keywords that were all about products that actually make a good amount of money. But today, it only has 2 keywords ranked in Google. And not only that, But if we search for the site using site, and the domain name, we can see here that there's only a couple of pages indexed. And I know for a fact, this website has over 100 pieces of content uniquely written using AI for the exact niche. So why did they get de-indexed, and how do we get them back? I'm glad you asked. Upon investigating further, I found a common theme with the websites that have flatlined. And that theme is a massive amount of 404 errors on the content that used to rank, which means all of these listings in Google have no content, which is signaling to Google that this site isn't really managed very well. We can see the same exact thing happening here on the Christmas tree website. Again, just 2 years ago, it was thriving. Today, it's got nothing. And again, same issue. If you click the links that used to rank in Google, we are getting error pages, 404 error pages, which is telling Google, hey, all this good content that used to rank no longer exists. Which is why I always tell my students, when you take over a domain name, make sure you look at the report of when the domain did best. We could see 0. 2 years ago, we had 714. A year ago, 3,800. So this is the one that we want to use. Go through and export the list of URLs and start building content on each and every one of these links. That is going to not only get you ranked virtually instantly on Google, but it's also going to show them that, hey, you've got content, you know what you're talking about, and it's not some deadbeat site like the guy in the other room over there. And you might be saying, Marcus, this is all fine and good, but he don't really have access to all the tools that you have. And that's where you're going to need to get a little creative. We can actually go over here to the Hoth and use the free Google Rank Checker. We simply put our domain in here, and it's going to show us the keywords that it ranks for. And with a little digging, you can find out stuff that used to rank. One of the other tools we can use is the Wayback Machine over at archive.org/web. We can put our URL in like this, and you should be able to find a sitemap of what the site looked like back in its prime. Click over here, click the site, and you'll see an exact replica of what the site looked like back in time. We could see he even used it as an Amazon affiliate website. But here we can see by going back all the different posts that used to rank. Now, using AI, we can strip out all the different posts and things like that, or we can do it manually, or even use a keyword tool. But make sure that if you're going to pay for a keyword tool, it has the ability to go back in the past, like SEMrush or Ahrefs. Yep, they're a little expensive, but you could probably get a free trial, download all the stuff you need to download, or even just use it for a month or two. Or if you're one of my students that has a high-ticket niche, you're going to get this report with your niche when it's delivered. In addition to that, you can also use the Google Search Console to see which 404 errors are actually bringing traffic to your website. You can then go in and fix them with content. It's actually very easy. What you're going to do is look at the actual URL. So if I go here to add link, I can see that this one is Point Loma Nazarene University. So all I would need to do is use AI to create an article about Point Loma Nazarene University. Pretty simple. Then I go on to the next one, and on we go. And it's very important that the link matches exactly what used to rank in Google. If it's off by one character or a capital letter, or even an extra space, yeah, that's not going to work. And you'll notice that on this college one, it'll say /listings/tag, and then have another folder for the URL. In this case, what we want to do is use a redirection plugin, or even a 301 redirect, or quite simply just create the folders yourself using categories and tags in WordPress. It's actually very simple. But again, for 2024, if you want to rank on Google and get free traffic, yeah, you need to start getting your act together and be in it to win it. And if you're in it to win it and you're going to make 2024 your best year ever, let me know in the comments below. And be sure to check out my other SEO videos that are going to help you rank on Google in the description.